Peace and blessings, peace and blessings. Shout out to my YouTube, Instagram, and Facebook family. Hit that like, subscribe, and share button, please. It costs you nothing. Anyway, so, took a little break. Your boy took a break. I had to take a break. There was a lot going on outside my life. I do have a life of some sort. I don't know if you can call it that. And then, sometimes you just get to a point where you're just like, I don't want to do nothing. You ever woke up one day and you're like walking out the door and you're like, nah, it's my day off. Let me go ahead and rest. That's kind of like what it was last week. But during last week, I got told by someone, I'm not going to go into full detail, but why'd I start making videos like this? And I said, would you like them like this? I thought, they were like, yeah, not necessarily. Well, the handheld and also more of, the news is great, but like some motivation here and there and some good energy and good vibes type of conversations. Not everything got to be suit and tie. So I said, dang, you know what? And that's another reason why having a break is good, because I wouldn't even seen that message. That message was kind of like 2 weeks ago. I was like, I missed this. And I had stopped kind of doing these. I was more trying to like professional it up. But anyway, so we're going to start doing more of these. This is the thing, y'all. This is the thing, right? When you creating content, you have to understand it doesn't make you any money or much money at all. So you have to really be passionate about this. Like it can't. It's not about. It's a personality trait. Like it really is. You're not getting on here talking to a screen, people looking at you crazy as you walking by, like, don't record me. And you think, like, it must be something that you really like to do. That's also a note that person asked me about. They were trying to figure out how to start. And I said, but you just got to start. I mean, grab your phone, you got a camera, grab whatever. Write down some ideas. And then when you write those ideas down, you're going to work them out. So, for instance, like, you got to have that purpose. You got to have that purpose point. Like, what's the purpose of it? If you know what I mean. What? Why? Because when it gets boring, it gets slow, you ain't getting no money, you ain't getting views. If it's just because I want to get rich and be famous, this ain't it. This ain't it. This ain't it. I would highly suggest something else. This is not gonna get you. It could. I'm not hating on you, but just some advice. Don't go into like that. Find a purpose. The way I found mine's, so because I always like to share. This is one thing I also do on here, is I like to share. The way I found mine's it was by accident. It was just going through trials and tribulations in life, in personal situations, which I'm still going through. But, and I made music, I made this, and it wasn't really going for me. None of it was going for me. And so it got to a certain point where I was like, I was going through something, and I just pulled out my phone, and I just talked about it, explained it, because it was like running through my mind. And for me personally, I don't know about other people, but I guess as someone who likes the arts, I got to get it out of my head. You know what I mean? And then, if you're talking to friends and family, and you don't want to be bringing them down. So I said, let me just throw this on the internet and then whatever. So I threw it up there. I kind of forgot about it. A day or two later, I get back on. I look at the video. My video had like 700 views. Usually I'll get like 20, 40, possibly. But I said 700. That's 700 people. I don't care what nobody says. I said 700 people saw this video. I said impossible. 700 people. And I went back and I said, what was it about this? And I had a look and I said it was a vulnerability. And within the conversation, and I'm going to get into detail, the conversation was about me moving to Atlanta, not working, not even an inch. Now I got to figure out, do I keep going? Do I stop? Do I, you know what I'm saying? So not making the money I want to. It was decently making money, but at the same time, not having a life. So I'm kind of putting it on there. And for that many people to view it, and then I had a couple inboxes, I realized people will view your stuff, but they won't like it, they won't share it, they'll just view it. You know what I'm saying? And so after I did that, I said to myself, you know what? I think I'm gonna go down more of that path. Right? Whenever I have like an idea in my head, I'm just gonna take, and it started moving for me. That was my purpose. It was therapeutic for me. It wasn't really about views. In fact, I thought people were gonna be like, yo, this dude's crazy on the internet crying. You know what I'm saying? And I'm like, no, I just had to get it out, because at the time, like I said, I was by myself, so I just didn't have really people to talk to. And that's another thing, man. And then you're gonna, and this is gonna sound, I know, because whenever you bring up this subject, people just run out the door. But it's like finding God. Like, you gotta find God. You gotta find a purpose. Like, you gotta find, and when I say God, I'm not talking about a guy who's sitting in a big giant chair telling, don't do this, don't do that, don't do this, don't do that. No, I'm talking about like a personal friend that you have, that it's like an imaginary friend that nobody can really see, but you can talk to him. You can explain things to him. So for instance, and I'm gonna give you this one, and hopefully you can follow. For instance, I'm getting to that point, right? I'm getting to that point. I'm watching a lot of Umar videos. Umar was another one. Dr. Umar was another guy. I'd see that man in his car, just throw out his phone, get to talking, 250,000 views. That's when I started being like, wow, this is a real space. I kind of always looked at this space on the internet kind of like, y'all out here trying to sell books and meet and greets. Nobody trusts nothing you got to say, but I started noticing, and he was hitting with the facts and the facts and the facts about this, and he was explaining. So I'm like, as I'm like in the situation I'm in, I'm like, why am I in this situation? Da da da. And for me, that's what worked for me, was him. And then one time Umar said something like, build a relationship with God. Then I literally, like not even an hour, I go to Kroger, and this is this guy, and I've talked about him before, who used to push carts, older guy, at least in his 40s. He was a little bit on the spectrum, I believe, but he taught me something that day. And every time I saw him, he'd be like, hey, Mariah, hey, Chick, hey, Mariah, hey, Mariah. Like, I'd be on this side of the parking lot. He'd be like all the way over there where that building's at, right? Mariah, Bo. I used to be like, oh, come on, man. Right? Just being not the best person. I wasn't proud of myself about that, but it just, some days you just want to run in the store and go home. You know what I'm saying? So he goes, Mariah. I come see him. It's like gloomy. It's rainy. I'm like, all right, I can't. He saw me. I can't. I said, how's it going? He got this great attitude, raincoat, boots on, and I'm like, I said, bro, you know that you are the same way and upbeat every day? And then he said, yeah, something, I forget like how he put it, but he put it in a way like, when you have God, everything is great. And that's when it clicked for me. I said, oh, he's talking about, it's not, once again, like I said, it's not like a guy in the sky who's telling you, don't do this, don't do that. It's like an inner peace. So the fact that he wakes up, it's already, man, and if you really think about it, it's right. It's like, I could not even be here. The fact that I had some food, good. Look at the kids in Palestine. Your mind is constantly in a state where you're looking for the good in it. It's not just gonna happen, but it's so. Anyway, when I was going down that rabbit hole, I just started talking about it. And as I started talking about it, and I mixed it with the politics, and you know what I mean? It worked. It all worked together. It's like the way I feel isn't necessarily the way I feel. It's the way I'm looking at it. And I know it's going to sound like some mind trickery, but once you start doing the reading and, like, for instance, a lot of us black men out here, right? And I know a lot of them got some real issues going on, right? And if you're not properly trained to look at things the right way, you can sit there and start blaming yourself. It's me, it's me, it's me, it's me, it's me. You do have to take responsibility as a man, though. But if you don't properly understand politics, economics, and all that, you won't really understand what the hell's going on. So when you finally sit down with yourself and you go, let me sit with myself, because that's part of that not having God, not having that peace, is you don't like sitting with yourself. You don't like sitting down and reading. You don't like quietness. You don't like focusedness. It's kind of like, now I got to get up, I got to move, I got to do this, let me do this, let me distract, eat, food, car, chain. It's like basketball, football. It's like, what is all this? Why is all this here? But anyway, I know I'm talking your ears off today. I ain't done these in a while, so you can't blame me. But so as I'm going down this rabbit hole, I'm finding it, and I know I'm still not knowing. I'm still not where I need to be. I know that, but I'm finding it. I'm finding something. And once you start getting in that space, right? And this is what I'm saying to my content creators. That's when you know you got something. You got something. You're going down a rabbit hole, and you're looking and going, "What's that?" Because look at. Don't look at God like your parents told you. I'm not saying anything wrong with my parents saying it. Look at God from a personal level. You have to. That's why they always say you have to have a personal relationship. Look at it like Morpheus in the Matrix. And I went to the Matrix. I know it. People are gonna be like, yeah, there we go. The red pill, blue pill. That's Morpheus. Yo, you take the red pill, you're gonna see everything. You take the blue pill, you go back to your misery, and you take the red pill. But the thing is, you gotta make sure you have the right guide. That's the reason why I say I'm a Pan-African nationalist Garveyite. That's my guide. You know what I mean? People have Christianity, Islam, Judaism. They have different guides. But that's the reason why they say you need to have a personal. What's your personal relationship? You know what I'm saying? Because without that, you're gonna be on this never-ending train. But anyway, appreciate that. You know the slogan: peace, love, positivity. Don't chase money, chase knowledge.